sevens, 10 to 1 for Kingston Hill. Same price, War Command. The Spanish Raider, Noozhoh Canarias at 25s with Godolphin's Outstrip. 33s, Book Runner and Charm Spirit, the French challengers. The all-weather champion 3-year-old Ertijal at 33s. 40s, Night of Thunder. 50s, Shifting Power. 66s, the Grey Gatsby and Master the World at 100 to 1. We are 7 minutes away from the first classic of 2014.
There are the jockeys lining up for this first classic of the year, the Kipco 2000 Guineas, the 206th running, and what a fantastic race it is. Apart from arguably True Story, you couldn't really think of a horse who should be here and isn't, and there are so many different horses coming here with claims. There are 4 unbeaten horses. One of them's the King of the Clocks, Kingman, who got the anti-post favourite for the Derby and Guineas in Australia, and his Sabre Command, one of the Group I winners, War Command, of which there are 3 in this race already. So, and to throw in, for good measure, we've also got the first ever Spanish train runner in a British Classic. So this is going to be a fantastic race. We have just had our eye over them in the paddock. There are very little negatives to offer you, very few negatives to offer you. Probably just Charm Spirits would be one who was a little bit edgy.
Charm Spirits was definitely sweaty and edgy. Outstrip would be similar stories, and Master of the World was on his toes. Other than that, I thought it was a really good looking field. Now, we'll all have different views about ones we like. You'd be perfectly, or this is just being from my own point of view, perfectly happy with Tourmore, perfectly happy with Shifting Power, perfectly happy with War Command, more than happy with Kingman. 2 that I thought looked really well. I thought Australia looked magnificent.
Is that the first time you've seen him?
I've never seen him. What a scopy horse he is, and I thought he looks in great nick as well. And I must say, and I know it's, you know, a grey is difficult, I thought Kingston Hill looked terrific as well. But I'd be happy to have 4th and 5th, you know, if someone else saying something different, because they were, the other ones I mentioned at the beginning all look excellent. It's a really good looking field.
I wanted to add that I thought Shifting Power has done well from his debut win in the free handicap.
You were working that day, weren't you, here? So yeah, he's not out of place in this race. He's got plenty of scope. The Spanish horse we hadn't seen before isn't as big as 1 or 2 of the others, but he's athletic, he's in really good condition, taking the proceedings extremely well. And I thought Night of Thunder, who I don't, again, there's better looking horses, but he was really relaxed as well, just, you know, walking around like a sheep. So I think it's, luckily, most of the horses haven't blown their chance in the preliminaries.
Well, we're talking about the Spanish train, Noozhoh Canarias. I should tell you about some changes to his silks. There are some red detail on his silks with the green and the blue as well. So red detail to Noozhoh Canarias, notably a red cap. There is Tourmore heading to post.
Yeah, last year's top 2-year-old, unbeaten, and a really good start to his 3-year-old career, but winning the Craven Slate, giving weight away.
Let's break off from seeing these horses go to post to hear from John Gosden, the trainer of Kingman.
Thanks, Lady. Out with John Gosden on track, just seen Kingman make his way out onto the course.
2000 Guineas and the Derby come here on the day with horses that on paper have superior form to him at this stage, a number of them, including his stable companion, and yet he remains very strong.
Fascinating, and you know, he impresses in appearance. He impressive, as you say. He's been absolutely consistent the support for him, despite, you know, we've all seen Kingman's trial, we've all seen Tourmore's come back. We know about good War Command is, and you know they're the threat at Kingston Hill. But he's been a well-supported horse against them. He is bred to get further. I thought in his 2-year-old races he showed a fair amount of pace, and he might be one of those who stays, but has got enough speed. You know, he's a really interesting runner in a fascinating race.
1 ticket left in the Scoop 6 competition. Who do you think he's on?
But I know who it's on.
Noozhoh Canarias. The hopes of Spain and somebody else, or maybe a collective, rest on Noozhoh Canarias.
Well, their economy's in a bit of trouble, like a lot of places in Europe, and
you think the government have done it to get out?
This might be helping. I do. I think it's. I think the royal family are on this big.
Right. Nothing seems to have boiled over on the way to post. I can't see any negatives down there. Just looking maybe a little bit warmer. Ertijal's got warmer, perhaps.
Yeah, he was a little bit warm beforehand. He's got to prove entirely that he stays a mile. That's a doubt about him. But go back to his debut run, he got a bit of neck by Tourmore at Leicester. Yeah, he's a good horse, I think. I think he will be better on turf than he was on the all-weather. Good as he was on the all-weather.
Well, this could well be a vintage running of the Kipco 2000 Guineas. It's the 206th running. There aren't many more to go forward. Ertijal and Tourmore remaining. Let's go and join Richard Hoyles, who will have the commentary of this superb classic.
Yeah, looking forward to this, like so many, Lydia, because so many big names have turned up, unbeaten records. Windsor feature races just about all set. So last one to go forward will be the Grey Gatsby for this Kipco 2000 Guineas. First classic of the 2014 series. The all clear is given. And they're off and racing. Stride away from the stalls then for the Guineas. Kingman is allowed time to find his stride. Two or more is angling over without strip over towards the stand side of the course. Shifting Power is also coming stand side, and we're going to have a difference of opinion here. Meanwhile, over on the far side, Noozhoh Canarias leads up over there with Charm Spirit. Kingman has ended up in that far side group with the Grey Gatsby. Night of Thunder's rider has a look around to see who is with him, and Book Runner as well. Meanwhile, over on the stand side, Two or More is headed right over towards the near side rail. Shifting Power, his stable companion, is another who's racing prominently with Urtijal. Australia not too far off that group in company with Outstrip as they continue their progress on down towards halfway. So impossible at this stage to line up the two groups. Meanwhile, stand side Two or More has the overall advantage on this near side. Noozhoh Canarias continues to tow them along over on the far side. Kingman is still towards the rear of that group. The Grey Gatsby is in that group as well. Two or More still prominent with company with Shifting Power over on the near side as they make their journey now down inside the final couple of furlongs. Still 2.5 furlongs to travel. Australia being produced to come and try and close on the near side with Shifting Power and Two or More. Kingman is moving forward over on that far side group, who is still headed by Noozhoh Canarias. They run downhill and into the dip. Australia and Two or More stand side with Shifting Power over on the far side. Noozhoh Canarias, and here's Kingman exploding for the far side group. Kingman's come through to lead that group with Night of Thunder. Australia under the near side rail. Night of Thunder drifting over Australia and Kingman. They are wide across the course. Kingman, Night of Thunder dives, and I think won the Guineas. I think Night of Thunder went up to floor Kingman and Australia and Shifting Power. It will go to the judge.
It's confirming. It's confirmed here at Newmarket. It has not gone to the judge. Night of Thunder is the shock winner of the 2000 Guineas, despite veering markedly to his left in the closing stages. And Kieran Fallon is on board for Richard Hannon. In second, it is Kingman for James Doyle and John Gosden. The two of those horses raced towards the far side until Night of Thunder's late dive left, which almost cost him the Guineas. And in third, winning the stand side race, is Australia for Joseph O'Brien and Aidan O'Brien. What a dramatic Guineas, and a reversal of the Greenham form, Steve.
Incredible that. I mean, anybody who walked away from Newby that day and said that Night of Thunder would reverse the form, you'd have been really, really hard pushed to say that. But he definitely has. Kingman has got second. We'll have to watch that again. He come there and looked like he was going to dominate the far side group of furlong. Here's the official result anyway.
Confirmed that Kingman is second and third Australia. Let's break off to hear from the winning trainer. He might be surprised that he's won with Night of Thunder.
He's delighted receiving the congratulations.
Groups, unsatisfactory I should say, and Richard Hughes leads the move towards the stand side. He's immediately joined by Outstrip, and then a larger number of horses join him, including the horse that did best of that group, Australia, in the purple and white colours. Meanwhile, there's a group of 6 over towards the far side, which include the first and the second, who are in second last and last at this stage. They're being tugged along by Noozhoh Canarias. Steve and I are trying to work out how the Greenham form can be reversed, particularly when the first and second race in the same group, albeit in what might have been an unsatisfactory race for many horses. And we can only both think that, as Julian Muscat pointed out in the Racing Post many weeks ago, that it was the stamina, and that this horse might be better at shorter than a mile.
It's hard not to have that as your first reaction. We've only seen it the once. I want to see it again. But they raced actually next to each other virtually the whole way, the first two. And I certainly thought a furlong and a half out, Kingman was going to win that group emphatically when he took it up. Clearly he stays because he's come second in the Guineas. Whether his optimum distance is shorter, I don't know. And looking here, I think it's really interesting. Australia was being niggled along somewhere. Definitely has run like your one fell. I think he's run really, really well, Australia. He's got the best of that group. Did Two or More stay? I know it looked like he didn't in the Craven, but on today's evidence, did he stay? He does drop away later on, having been right up there. Shifting Power's done, really well for the Richard Hannon Chargers. Another one besides the winner, and he has got the trip really well. Kingston Hill's running on late. On this evidence, he does want further. I like the way he finished off the race. But it's a race you need to see umpteen times, and I'm not going to form a strong opinion until I've seen this about half a dozen more times. You've almost got to follow the groups individually. The winner's done an awful lot wrong, and yet has reversed an emphatic beating in the Greenham.
Now, it might be that Kingman has been, and James will have had to do things, given the way the race has developed, at times different to how he'd ideally want to do them.
Definitely. I'm sure he didn't want it to be two groups. It was Richard Hughes who made up his mind to come over, and various people followed him. I think they were going to run in one group, and that left the 6 or 7 horses racing towards the far side.
You felt that if there was any way you didn't want to be today, it was the far side.
I did feel that beforehand, absolutely, I did feel that. Kingman's now gone, he's 2 lengths ahead of Night Thunder, going better at that stage, just following that group only, and he's gone away from the rest. You can't say he's not seen it out. On this evidence, Night Thunder has just outstayed him. He stayed stronger, despite giving away however much that ground is, certainly his momentum. He's proved stronger. Having been going worse, yeah, it probably isn't that much in terms of distance, but he's not running in a completely straight line, and he's still taken probably 2 lengths out of Kingman in the final furlong. On the stand side, so you can see Kingston Hill running on, the grey nearest to stand rail. You can see Australia boxing on, Shifty Howe was suited, suited by the mile, definitely. Tourmore in this evidence, I wonder if he truly, in top company, got the mile.
Yes, that's what I was wondering about going into the Craven. Again, his stamina seems to be exposed. Noozhoh Canarias has run really well for Spain.
He's run absolutely an excellent run, but it's an incredibly confusing race to work out. The winner, there's no excuses. The winner's won well. He's the one who was in danger of throwing it away, and yet he's turned out on top. At the end of last year, he looked a really good horseman, winning at Doncaster in particular. A lot of his best form before was on proper soft ground. There were more doubts about him in drying ground than most, but he's reversed the form, and not many people would have predicted he was, whatever else, that he was going to turn the Greenham form around. If you saw the winner of the 2,000 Guineas in the Greenham, most people thought it would be Kingman.
In his first season training as his own right, Richard Hannon has won the first Classic, but I suppose the big story is that Kieran Fallon, at this stage in his career, with no big job to propel him there, is back in the winner's enclosure for a Classic.
Absolutely. It's another 2,000 Guinea for him. He's had a few, and this will mean quite a lot to him, because he's been very much second fiddle for a few years in terms of opportunities.
And of course the big impact in this race in betting terms is for the Derby, and Australia has been shortened up by William Hill to 7-4 favourite from 5-2, 2-1 favourite with Stan James, and 7-4 favourite with Betfred, who also make Night of Thunder 16s from 40s for the Derby. You would think that he has little chance of staying, but who cares? He's won the 2,000 Guineas.